Hi, and welcome to Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Miss Victoria, and as we have Avian with us.
Hi.
All right, we're going to be working this month is pretty much going to be Bookopoly. We're focusing. This is a adult summer reading challenge that we have here for the Corpus Christi Public Libraries. You can pick it up here. You can sign up and register and pick them up here at Garcia Library or at any of the other 6 branches total. This episode, we're going to focus on 2 sections of the board. We're focusing on the pink and the green, which is Tailgate Party, the pink one, and Tale of Two Cities is the green. So we're going to show you a couple books that fall into those sections. The first 4 are always going to be books that you can find here at Garcia Library. So we're going to do 2 and 2, pretty much 2 from the tailgate section, the pink one, and 2 from the Tale of Two Cities. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's get right into it. Okay. First one for the tailgate party that I chose was watch a movie with or about athletic superstars. So I chose League of Their Own. Now, the actors that come out in this, they are also ones they aren't athletic, but they are about athletic superstars because they're about the women's baseball league. When it first began, this is the history of it, and at the end it does show you the actual WLB, I think it's WMLB, Women's Major League Baseball, but they have it and they show the museum and everything. So it does talk about the actual athletes and, of course, the teams that were associated with the Women's Baseball League, which one of them right there is the Rockford Peaches is what they were called. So if you haven't seen it, this is one that is a classic one. Honestly, you should at least see it once. Great story. It is kind of sad on some parts, but one movie isn't. And, of course, Madonna's infamous song at the end is kind of emotional at the end, but it goes perfectly with the movie. I don't know. Have you ever heard of it, Avian?
No, I'm distracted by Madonna on the cover.
Yeah, Madonna is one of the main ones. I mean, there's Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, like they say there. Rosie O'Donnell's in there as well. There's a couple other celebrities you will notice within it. And the interesting thing, they do show them older. I think they make Gina Davis look older. But I think the rest of them, when they're older, are maybe the actual people. Or they really aged the actresses really well, because the one of Madonna doesn't look like Madonna at all. Now, that's for one. So this is one of them you can do. You can also do like Rudy. There's another one with the Notre Dame football. You can do probably Blindside. It does talk about the actual football one also. There's a couple other ones you can also choose that we own that deal with athletic superstars. Or you could just watch a movie that has one, like The Rock. You can watch any of the Jumanjis or Scorpion King that has him. He's an athletic. He does wrestling, so that works too. Next one is Tailgate Party. Continuing, the next square is get active, take a walk, and listen to an audiobook. Now, I know Avian Party has different audiobooks you'd rather listen to, but I went ahead and just, why not one of them gives me motivation to run. Stephen King's Dolores Claiborne. Stephen King and his horror thing. If you're by yourself listening to this at a park and just walking around and you get to a certain part and you hear noise, you're going to start running.
Be concerned.
I think it might be motivation. I don't know. If you would choose that or you would choose something else.
I mean, the satisfaction of saying, oh, I got through 1 or 2 chapters on my walk or on my run. I mean, it's good exercise and it's good motivation.
True. I mean, you could probably do other things besides. It doesn't hurt to go outside for a little bit. And we have a lot of audiobooks, but this is one we do have, and it's a popular author, so I thought I'd throw that one in. Now we go to the next section, the green. And this was Tale of Two Cities is the section. And I chose the square that says, read a Dickens novel or a Dickens story reimagined. And of Dickens, my favorite out of all of his is Great Expectations, is one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you could do literally Tale of Two Cities, that Dickens wrote. You could do that. But I went with Great Expectations. I like the movie. I know people say obviously the book's better than the movie, but watching the movie did inspire me to actually read the book. So I think it's worth reading it. Someone rags to riches, the story as old as time of somebody getting that benefactor. He was poor, gets a benefactor, becomes rich because he wants to impress the girl that didn't really care for him.
But it's weird too. There's some, I don't know, there's some weird elements to Great Expectations that I really like. Like Miss Havisham, she's a little weird.
Oh yes, Miss Havisham, she's the one that teaches the granddaughter that attitude or whatever she has toward Pip, like, even though she kind of liked him, but she's kind of like, oh, you're below me. But when he becomes rich as an artist, it's like, she kind of gets interested in Miss Hamilton's like, you can never date my granddaughter. Like, yeah, I loved her character.
She's strange, but I like her.
I liked her too. I forgot who was something Bancroft, I think it is, who played her in the movie, but that was a good character I did like. Now, this was interesting. This another square. It says Corpus Christi has sister cities in Japan, Taiwan, and France. So they want you here. You would either read or watch a story set in those countries. Now, this one I came across is based in France, and you can see the Eiffel Tower, but this version you kind of see two of them. This one, but this is one that Robin had recommended, because it also combines steampunk, which is what we're doing for the teens, the crafts that we do on Fridays that deal with steampunk. And if people wonder what's steampunk, this is a great example. You can see the iron, and you can see the Eiffel Tower, you see the balloons in the back for the paint. So a lot of this is steam powered, and that's where you get steampunk. So this one's very interesting. It has an all-star cast. You got Paul Giamatti, who's a great actor. Then you have Tony Hill. He's actually a funny comedian. Susan Sarandon, and then J.K. Simmons. And you got a lot of really big heavy hitters as the actors for the voices in here. So it's worth watching, because this is one you can do for French. We do have it in Blu-ray and DVD. This one's one exception that I don't think we have owned ourselves, but I had to include it. It's at the Central Library, but you can put it on hold and pick it up here. Because I will recommend this is worth watching. And you can also check off the one on your square. Now, all four of these, except for this one, you can find here and you can place on hold and pick up. Of course, here at Garcia Library or curbside, we are still doing that. Make sure to call to get those hours correctly when you can pick up curbside. Now we're going to jump right into our Hoopla and Access 360, our online digital resources. So a couple of those. Now the first one's called Gracie. I did have more detail on this one. It is one that's going to fall for the square of athletic, watch a movie with the athletic superstars about. And she's a soccer player, and you can tell right there. It has well-known, if you don't know, there's Elizabeth Shue and Dermot Mulroney. So those are a couple actors you may know. I really don't know Carly Schroeder, and I'm assuming she's the one there that plays Gracie. I'm assuming that's her.
Maybe.
Do you know who she is?
Never heard of any of them, but she's...
Well, Elizabeth Shue, people would know. New of one generation, they would know her from Cobra Kai. Because she is actually the original girl from Karate Kid that both Johnny and Daniel fought over.
Oh, what trivia.
That's when they would know. That's Elizabeth Shue. Dermot Mulroney, can't think of it on top of my head right now because my best friend's wedding with Julia Roberts, so he comes out in our wedding date. Those are some, rom-coms or romantic comedies that people will know him from. But let's move on. The next one is a Cleopatra and Fox mystery. It's called Murder at the Mayfair Hotel. And this one I chose for something besides Stephen King. This is a different one you can do by C.J. Archer. And it says, December 1899, after the death of her beloved grandmother, Cleopatra Fox, which is her name, moves to a hotel owned by her estranged uncle. And she has hopes of putting hardship, loneliness behind her. Don't we all? But poisoning of a guest throws her new life and the hotel into chaos.
No.
So now she's going to have to solve this mystery.
I like anything with hotels, so.
Yeah, the hotel. It always happens. Someone always gets poisoned. Something happens to somebody in a hotel. Can't help that. Now, of course, the next one, I did say it's an option you can do, and that's why I saved it for Hoopla, because there's several versions, actually. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. You can use that one to read a Dickens novel. Of course, we know it's set in London and Paris before the Revolution, French Revolution. It tells the story of an 18-year-long imprisonment in the Bastille in Paris of French Dr. Mignette, as well as his release and his life in London with his daughter, Lucy, whom he had previously not met. Okay. So, and that's one option. The other option I would say, if you wanted to read the graphic novel, we do own the graphic novel, A Tale of Two Cities. That might be an easier option. The next one is Cyrano de Bergerac. I just know as Cyrano, period. But what I know is as Roxanne, because I've seen the movie with Steve Martin, and his character pretty much plays, modern day Cyrano. And it's an interesting play. This is about a man who his nose is oversized. That's why you see it kind of like that big. And it keeps him from the woman he loves. So our hero is a nobleman, a brave duelist, a talented poet. But of course, his nose is what holds him back. So he tries to convince that the beautiful Roxanne can never love him. He agrees to help a friend woo her instead. So he's the typical type where the girls in the play party like Juliet in a tower somewhere or a balcony. And the friend is hidden in a hedge or a bush, and Cyrano's right there. So she'll see the person, but Cyrano's behind telling him what to say. So she's actually falling in love with him, but physically wise, she likes the friend because she thinks he's saying all that.
Wow. So he's just the ultimate wingman, kind of.
Pretty much. It's the ultimate wingman. That's a way to put it. It's ultimate wingman. I would say that. Yeah. That's a very good way to interpret that, actually.
I want to watch that. That sounds funny.
Yeah, it's called just Roxanne. You can look it up, Roxanne. It has Steve Martin. It has Daryl Hannah. It even has the one from, have you seen The Shining?
Yeah.
Okay, the one that plays the mom, that actress comes out in it too.
Shelley Duvall?
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
So watch that. It's a funny version of Cyrano, in other words. Now for Access 360, the one I chose for here was one of them was to do under the cube actually says about joining a virtual book club. Well, I chose the one from the Baker and Taylor book club for children. It's called Flunk. It's a fairy tale reform school by Jen Calanita. It says a petty theft, when petty theft Gilly, who lives with her 5 younger brothers, that's a lot, and sisters, in a rundown boot, gets caught stealing. She is sentenced to 3 months at Fairy Tale Reform School, where all the teachers are former villains. Seems interesting, including the big bad wolf, the evil queen, and Cinderella's wicked stepmother.
Okay. So
I like those twisted tales. This is a different version. It's not so much of a tale as much as it's combining all the villains, and they're the ones trying to reform these kids. See, it's kind of, I never heard of it. I know we have it, so you can actually check out the book here, or you can check it out through Access 360. Now, the next one, I really like this author, Gillian Flynn. She's the one that did Dark Places. Of course, she's the author of Gone Girl. This one's called Dark Places. But she's also written Sharp Objects. It's the one I'm thinking about. And Dark Places is kind of like a I thought it was a continuation of Sharp Objects, but it's not. Sounds similar, but it's not. Love it. This one's like the audio. So this one you can actually listen to when you go on a walk. It says Libby Day, since that's a real name. It says She was 7 when her mother and her 2 sisters were murdered in the Satan sacrifice of Kanaki, Kansas.
Okay.
So she survived out of that. And then her family, as her family lay dying, Libby flees the farmhouse. She lost some fingers and toes because it was freezing at the time, but she did survive. But it says 25 years later, there's another character. His name is Ben. He's in prison. And troubled Libby lives off of drugs of a trust created by well-wishers. So she's living off well-wishers. People are trying to help her because they feel sorry for her. But then she's starting to realize it's starting to forget her. So she tries to come up with something. So she decides this club called the Kill Club. They're like a secret society. They're obsessed with notorious crimes. So they locate her and they try to find more details about what happened. And the ways they want to prove that the guy, the character Ben, did not kill her mother and her other sisters. So it's a very interesting, it kind of has a lot of twists and turns. If you've never read Sharp Objects or saw the TV show, I would check out that first, but it wouldn't make a difference. It just as a reference, I would do those because she's great suspense. If you've seen Gone Girl, you'll know Gillian Flynn's, her writing style. Great. A lot of twists and turns. It kept me going. I did not know who was the killer most of the time, and I usually figure that out pretty quick. But I recommend this. So even I know you may not be reading certain types of books by now, but this is one I will recommend for you to read or to listen to, try out. And Sharp Objects is just like, it's probably as thick as like a Magic Treehouse book. It's really not that long. Or the other one that you read. What's that one?
Which one? The silver
one about the Fae?
Oh, the
woods, something Silver Woods.
Oh, Silver in the Woods. Yeah, Silver in the Woods is tiny.
It's a little bit thicker than that, but not by much.
Okay.
So it'd be worth it. Now, the next 2 we have, of course, the one that you're probably saying, why do I have Selena on there? Because it's Selena. No, I'm just kidding. Because one of the things is to take a book selfie at a Corpus Christi landmark. And of course, first thing that pops in my head when I think of a Corpus Christi landmark is the Selena. Now, of course, you have the Harbor Bridge, Lexington, you have other options, but Selena just pops in my head right away. And when you do a book, so this is the biography to Selena with Love by Chris Paris. And of course, it tells the relationship, with the music superstar that he had. And it's pretty much a tribute to her about the Latin music history. It's how she became a phenomenon in a short time. Her fans, her tragic murder at her young age of 23, which was very sad. And of course, the tight-knit family, everything. And of course, her husband, Chris, and how he felt and everything that went on during that time. So it's a great thing if you want. You can get this book or actually any book. And you can go to where the Selena is, the statue, and have the book in front of you and take the picture because you want to do a book selfie like I did, as if Selena was reading the book. Or you can have someone take a picture of you next to Selena with the book. You can still count as well. Just make sure to post that on our Facebook page so we know that you did that as well. Of course, the last one is one of them. It's just like the other one that you had to read a book because of Corpus Christi cities. Well, this one is in Japan, and this one is The Woman in the Purple Skirt. And I'm not even going to try to say the name. Natsuko, maybe?
Natsuko Imamura.
Am I close, Adrian?
Yeah, you get close.
Okay, I don't know. But apparently this is a novel of obsession and psychological intrigue about 2 enigmatic unmarried women, one of whom manipulates the other from afar by one of Japan's most acclaimed young writers. So if you're curious about that may be one you might want to check out on Access 360. I don't know if it's just a book or they also had the audio. You might have to look into that.
That one looks cool.
As always, make sure you do remember to visit our Facebook and YouTube channel, Corpus Christi Public Libraries. Check out all the videos that we are providing, and of course, other episodes from off the show. If you need help finding any of the books that we just talked about, you can visit our online catalog, which is listed right there, or you can call us and we'll be happy to help you. Just follow the prompts and it will direct you to the Garcia Library. You can also use our online catalog when you're on the website and use new book alerts, author check, and of course, book newsletter to help you out on any of these books that deals on the Bookopoly that will help you. And here's a longer version of the link. Now, I want to thank you all for watching. Now, the next episode, we are going to continue on with the rest of the Bookopoly board for the rest of the month. So the next episode is going to be dealing with cocktails. I know, exciting. Yeah, we're going to do the cocktails one, and I think the other one is tattletale. That's the other sections, which are the yellow and the orange section. So I hope you enjoyed this, and these give you some help you out on clearing those squares on the Bookopoly. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.